So big moves in cryptocurrency markets to talk about once again this week. Back to the upside. A very interesting article in Forbes magazine we're going to discuss. But before we do so, here's what's coming up. In this video, guys, we're going to talk about, crypto has surpassed $2 trillion as a market cap. So we'll tell you a little bit about how it got there and why. ETH monthly gains surpassing Bitcoin on this month. And Coinbase earnings had a very interesting tidbit of information we're going to tell you about as well. Let's get into this, guys, because it's starting to feel like Ethereum might be getting a little more momentum here than Bitcoin. Am I wrong?
It certainly does. Look, first things first. I mean, Ethereum did have that expected update, the little London update there. We had a set fee for bidding, which makes it a little bit less expensive instead of having to bid the highest price to be able to have your transaction picked up by miners. I mean, part of every transaction fee also going to be burned. So when everyone talks about scarcity with Bitcoin, this is going to create some scarcity for Ethereum. And now, at the end of the day, Ether was already on a move to the upside, and this was expected. But I've got this Forbes article here that we're going to reference because, Coinbase dropped the bomb here that Ethereum had a surprise. But a couple of tidbits here where you got that $2 trillion in total crypto assets from here, and that was for the first time since mid-May. There, of course, was that pullback. So that shows you how strong this bounce has been. But I think part of the thing that interests me the most as I scroll down just a little bit here, Ethereum trading made up 26% of Coinbase's total volumes in the second quarter, up from 21% previous month. Bitcoin went down from 39% to 24%. Now, obviously, everyone thinks of Bitcoin first when you talk about crypto, but this shows Coinbase has been adding lots of different tokens for you to be able to trade, and that diversification was something that was highlighted in the call. And Ethereum, because of the run it's been on, has definitely been captivating everyone's attention. That move that we've been talking about here. I'm going to go to the charts now because, as I said, going into that update, you already were in a big move to the upside here. And, I can actually pull this back a little bit further so you can see, since we've been getting down that 1700 level, it has been an unbelievable rise. There's been some really small pullbacks, but it's a near double up in anticipation of this. And I think you're getting a little bit of sell the news here as it's been an almost double up from that key 1700 area. So big moves in Ethereum, and it looks like based on the volume you're seeing from Coinbase, the interest is still high.
100%. And I mean, I'm really glad that Forbes put out this video this article. And it's pretty obvious that right now it goes in ebbs and flows, right? We had Bitcoin rallying, now we have Ether rallying. And I have coin market cap up right now. And I mean, it's talking about $2 trillion, but we're just a little bit below that now. Coming back in just shows you the, sort of how volatile the market is. But look at this. If you add right now the market cap with Bitcoin, almost still, more than double. It was at one point, of course, a lot more than that. But 800 million, billion, calling it right there. And then Ethereum, 300. So you're getting close, but still the big boy is still Bitcoin. The interesting thing about Ether here, and we can look at the daily chart. I know Neil just talked about it holding 1700. It's more the fact that Ethereum has use cases for them, right? You're going to be able to build on the smart contracts, offering different apps, things like that are going to be coming through. There's already sports gambling apps that are based on Ethereum protocol. You can buy horse races and things like that, create stables and buy horses with Zedrun. So there's lots of things. Just even recently, Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher releasing stoner kitties on Ethereum. So that's already worth hundreds of millions of dollars, just released as well. You have smart contracts, we talked about that, DAOs, decentralized finance as well coming through, NFTs, we touched on that. So I think right now the world is starting to realize that there are other use cases other than Bitcoin just being a store of value. Ethereum does have those smart contracts, and then Cardano also building smart contracts as well. I call it the baby Ethereum. So there's a lot going to be happening in this space moving forward. And I mean, even when I talk to my wife about it, she's excited about it. And she's like, well, what if your bank gets hacked? Then you're going to lose all the money in your bank account. Now, I told her, let's slow down on that a little bit here, right? But the point is that when you get cold storage and you can take some of your finances or some of these coins out of exchanges and into cold storage and hard wallets and things like that, little treasures, it does make you feel a little safer about that. So I think that there's some use cases now with Ether and Bitcoin also rallying off that bottom there, 30,000, now rallying over 44,000. So I think there's a lot happening right now in the crypto space, and I'm excited moving forward. And I think 2 trillion is really just a start.
Shout out to Billy Bambro, the contributor here for Forbes on this article. Really interesting article, really interesting take, guys. So 50% here on the month for Ethereum, 30% on the month for Bitcoin in Coinbase's earnings. I want to go back to that because in that earnings call, they did talk about how they were expecting lower volumes on the crypto side of things specifically going into Q3 of this year. You don't have to look very far on the internet these days to find $100,000 price targets for Bitcoin. If a Coinbase is expecting lower volumes going into the latter half or latter quarter of this year, what's it going to take here to keep these rallies going?
Yeah, but so the thing is, first of all, look, if you've been in the crypto game for a while, or if you've been looking at Bitcoin, you know that there's no path to 100,000 that isn't going to involve peaks and valleys, right? Like you still have to take out those, you still have to come back and take out that 60,000 level, and then once that happens, you're still probably looking at a pullback from there. Like let's say you go 60 to 75, 80, let's just say at some point, you're likely to get a retracement, and we're in the midst of a slight pullback on this move here that could easily take you either back to the 40,000 or, I mean, ideally if it holds 42, that would look fantastic, and I think it goes to the point of the lower volumes. I don't know many, and you see this, the 100,000, I've seen 140, 160 more reasonably as some of those like really high targets for Bitcoin. And you don't really see too many people putting a timeline on that. That's one thing to keep in mind here, right? So most people, when you think about the store of value, when you think about the use cases for Ether that Sean has mentioned, there's no hard timeline for when these game changes will happen and when these tipping points will happen. I think most people just understand you're in this usually for the long haul, especially in Bitcoin when you think about the store of value. So I wouldn't be too concerned about, that lower volume in Q3. At the end of the day, it is still summertime trading. People call that it was going to be a crypto winter here, and all we're seeing is a very slight dip off the top so far, and that's not the end of the world. I think things will pick back up, but I would expect after this great run, and maybe not as big here on Bitcoin, but that big run on Ether, you're going to get a little bit of a dip, and there's going to be a lull, and then we're going to get some activity towards the end of the year again. And as long as we're not breaking any of those lows, maybe that's 17 on Ethereum and on Ether, then I think it's all systems go.
Yep, and I just want to say also, you do have such an ease of use with Coinbase right now. If you come over to my chart here, you can see, up the profit, 1.6 billion right now for Coinbase, up 4,900% year over year, Brendan. So to me, that means that, hey, look, it's become really easy right now. Open up a Coinbase account. They trade absolutely everything. Not everything, but they trade a lot of the names that are rallying, including Dogecoin, things like that. So I really think that Coinbase can help spark sort of the rally in the crypto space. It's easy to sign up. It's a popular name. It's an exchange. Hopefully people can start to trust it as well. So I'm really, really pretty bullish moving forward right now with the crypto space.
And an asset class that every day now we're learning more about, and we're hearing how much you need to have exposure to. So will it be 100,000? Will it be 150,000? Only time will tell. And whether or not Ethereum is going to surpass that at some point, again, only time will tell. Very interesting time for cryptos, guys. Here's Valeria.
Hey guys, thank you for sharing this interesting information. Dear viewers, please subscribe to this channel to see more great videos.